Hey, how's it going guys? Phil here, and this is a review for the HP ColorJet Pro multifunction printer, model number M479fdw. In the box, you'll receive the printer, 6-foot power cord, 5-foot USB 2 cable, phone cord, and quick start manuals. The printer measures 16.5 inches wide, 18 inches deep, and 15 3/4 inches high. When the lid is open, the height is 26 inches, and when the paper trays and rear access panels are open, the overall depth is 40.5 inches. So make sure you have enough clearance in all directions to accommodate the printer with access to open all of the panels. The weight of the printer with all the cartridges installed is just over 51 pounds, so the printer is pretty heavy and has a large footprint. There are a lot of doors and panels on this printer to accommodate all the functions. Starting from the top, you have the 50-page automatic document feeder, document return tray, the scanner photocopier, tiltable color touch panel control display, output bin for your completed prints, USB port for walk-up printing, power button, front panel for the 50-sheet capacity manual load paper tray 1, inner panel for toner cartridge access, toner cartridge tray with 4 cartridges pre-installed, black, cyan, magenta, and yellow, and lower paper tray 2 with 250 sheet capacity. Note that when loaded with legal-sized paper, tray 2 extends from the front of the printer approximately 2 inches and cannot be closed all the way. There's also an optional third paper tray sold separately that can hold up to 550 sheets of paper, and that gets added onto the bottom of the printer. The release button to access the toner compartment is on the left-hand side of the printer. On the back of the printer, you have the rear access panel for clearing paper jams, fax and telephone line jacks, USB-A port for job storage, USB-B port for wired connection to a computer, and Ethernet port for wired network connections. In the bottom left-hand corner is the port for the power cable. To set up the printer, plug in the power cable and press the power button. Next, go to the touch panel to set up your printer preferences. Load the paper tray, making sure to adjust the paper guides for the size of the paper you're using. Then on your computer, download and install the printer drivers and software from HP's website. After setting up the software, you can go ahead and connect the printer to your computer using the USB cable. But if you're printing without a computer, you can print from a mobile device or use the USB port in the front to print files directly from a USB stick. This port also lets you scan and save copies of your documents to the USB stick. For mobile or networked printing, you can download the smartphone app HP Smart from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. To connect the printer via Wi-Fi, select your network SSID and enter its password. Or plug the printer into a router using an Ethernet cable. If the printer is connected to the internet, whether by Wi-Fi or Ethernet, you can also scan directly to email, or you can fax it if you've got the phone line hooked up. What's great about this printer is that it has one-pass dual-sided scanning and copying, which means if you have a two-sided document, you won't have to scan one side at a time. It'll just do both sides at once, saving you a bunch of time. Let's do a couple of test prints and copies. I'm going to print a color image from my phone using the mobile app. As you can see, the job is accepted and starts printing at the printer almost immediately. The colors of the print are just stunning. Keep in mind, this is just plain white 20-pound stock paper, but the print quality from this printer for photographs is pretty amazing, not something color laser printers are known for. For black and white copies, the printer is able to process and print really fast, at about 19 pages per minute. You might have also noticed that the printer is pretty quiet. It doesn't make a ton of noise during startup or printing, and it goes to sleep pretty soon after it's done printing to save power. This also helps it reduce the amount of heat it puts out into the room while it's idle. Great for a home office. As for the toner smell, yeah, you do get some of that fresh toner smell right after printing, but it's not super strong and it dissipates in a well-ventilated room. One thing that I really liked is the job storage and private printing feature, which requires you to install a USB thumb drive in the rear USB port with a minimum capacity of 16 gigabytes. Note that the USB stick will be formatted before it can be used by the printer. This allows you to save or send print jobs directly to the USB stick, which you can then retrieve and print at the machine later. It's useful for sensitive or restricted access documents that you don't want to print immediately from your computer if the printer's in a public area. You can also set a PIN number to secure each job, and whoever is printing that document needs to enter that unique password at the machine in order to initiate printing of that job. There are a whole lot of other features baked into this printer that I won't have time to cover in this video. But two interesting ones are cartridge policy and cartridge protection. Cartridge policy is a setting that restricts the printer to only using genuine HP toner cartridges, which have microchips in them that the machine uses to identify them as genuine. If this feature is on, that means you won't be able to use any aftermarket or third-party cartridges, even if they're compatible with the machine, whether that's because you have concerns with their quality or just prefer to use HP products. So if you buy third-party cartridges and find that the printer won't recognize them, check to make sure first that this setting is turned off. The cartridge protection feature, when enabled, permanently marks all subsequently installed cartridges as protected and associates them with the printer or printer group so that the cartridges cannot be used elsewhere. The idea is to deter theft of the cartridges, as each genuine toner cartridge can be quite expensive. Both features are off by default, so you'll have to explicitly turn them on if you want them. And just for reference, the black cartridge is good for about 2,400 pages of prints, while the color cartridges go about 2,100 pages each, which comes out to about 3 to 4 cents per page. Overall, this printer is a real powerhouse when it comes to home and home office printing. It's also great for small businesses or if you have heavy printing needs that require both black and white and color prints. The prints are fast and high quality with great color reproduction and accuracy. And you can do all of your printing, scanning, and copying at the machine with or without a computer. You also have any number of options to save, store, or send digital files of your documents offline or on the internet at the touch of a button. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can ask me any questions in the comments. I'll put a link to the product in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and join me next time.